Welcome back, Lake listeners. Thank you for tuning in for more of the Grow, Thrive, Inspire podcast. Today we are putting this caffeine to use with our broker owners, Jeff and Jason, here to share another Java tip. Guys, thank you so much for your time today. I want to get deep into a great topic for all of our listeners, and I know all three of us get pretty passionate about it. So are you guys ready?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure what we're talking about, but...
Okay, so our Java tip today is around the concept of turning excuses into action. We oftentimes hear so many excuses within our industry or excuses even within everyday life. So what are your thoughts around excuses?
Well, there's so many. Mm-hmm. There's so many. It's crazy.
There is.
I think it's a single, the no matter how or why it comes up, it's the single biggest deterrent of someone's movement, their momentum that they carry throughout their career and throughout just taking risk and doing something, reaching your goals. I just think it's a big deal.
Also, it's something that doesn't escape anyone at times, and it doesn't escape any profession. We're talking about real estate in general right here, but really it's everything. I mean, you hear it with our kids. Jeff and I talk a lot about this, just with our kids. How do we inspire them to do what they need to do, whether it's in school or whether it's in sports or whether it's just being a better person. And so, there's things that the world throws at us or in our own minds that tend to limit how successful we are. And so I think overcoming those excuses is a huge one.
Well, and I think that, like you said, it works for both professionally, but also personal, too.
Oh, your friends, your acquaintance, you see it all over. It becomes habit. I think it becomes something that sometimes people don't even realize they're doing it.
So do you guys feel like fear and excuses go hand in hand?
Absolutely. So fear is either a great motivator or it's a great deterrent, and a lot of times it's a deterrent. And I used to see it you see it a ton in sports. Or I used to see it a ton in football. There was lots of guys that I played with throughout the years before I even got in the league that had unbelievable talent, but there was always an excuse to why they weren't doing something. And as I look back and as you kind of look at that, I really think it was fear driven. It's this fear of failure, that if I give everything I've got and I don't make it, whether it's in real estate or sports or just life, if I give everything I've got and I don't do it and I don't make it, then I failed, which is a terrible. I think it's the wrong mindset. I think it's exactly the opposite. I think if you have a mindset of, if I give it everything I've got, if I don't have a plan B and I give it everything I got and I failed, then that's okay. Life's, that's some of the greatest lessons we can learn from. But if you don't give it your all and then you fail, I think you're just hurting. Obviously hurting yourself, but it's sad.
You hit the nail on the head when you said it doesn't miss any of us, because it doesn't matter if you're talking about what level of sales you're going to get to. It doesn't matter about what career path you're going to choose or how you're going to advance through that career, or if we're talking about buying a second home or not buying a second home, or you're a youngster. I think fear is probably the underlying, the majority of the time, the underlying factor that creates the ability to make up an excuse. My mom, growing up, this didn't make sense to me for a long time, but she would, if I gave her a can't, Mom, I can't, or what if I gave her a what if, she would say can't do anything. Can't do anything, Jeff. What? I didn't understand that, but she just didn't want to hear that, and so now we go to fancy. We hear fancy speakers and go all over to conventions, and they have great solutions for it, and they talk about mindset and what Jason said. You have to go through. You can't hit a home run every time. You just have to keep trying, and some of them are not going to work out the way you want, but at least you try.
That's so funny, Jeff. While you were talking, I wrote down consistency over time, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about. It's the consistency over time that helps us get through those excuses. It's so many times excuses are made for things that are big ticket items. It's why didn't I reach this big goal? And sometimes it's multi-leveled where you didn't have smaller goals, but there's always something that we're either the little voice in our head that's telling us we can't, or the little voice in our head that's telling us we don't have time, or the little voice that I'm not good enough. Whatever it is, it's so important to make sure that we are not listening to that little voice and changing that little voice with things that are positive, things that are going to help you.
Or encourage you.
Yeah, encourage you, exactly. They're going to encourage you, not deter you from making those excuses.
It's sad to see how paralyzing that fear is. When you talk to someone who really wants to break through, or they want to do something different than they're currently doing, but fear creeps in and it just builds excuses, and they'll try really hard to convince you sometimes, and it's sad.
Okay, so to switch gears on that topic, so what are some excuses you guys personally battle with, or what are some that you hear and immediately want to challenge?
I myself have battled a lot with faith. So, and what I mean by that is not religious faith. It's faith as it pertains to excuses and decisions or opportunities. And what I mean by that is an opportunity comes, and rather than seize it or jump on it, I let this little guy that stands on my shoulder start talking to me. And he likes to bring up all the what ifs. Mm-hmm. And so, I definitely can see in my past where opportunity did come at times, and I just didn't seize it because of my lack of faith, which was fear. Same mm-hmm. thing we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Specifically, with me, probably more personal goals. Doing a better job with myself, my health. In high school, really shy, or not shy, but really not willing to jump out early on. And so I see little different things. You can't go backwards, but it doesn't miss any of us for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think everybody can relate to that. I know for me, probably the biggest one is the excuse of I don't have time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure nobody's ever said that, I don't have time. But at the end of the day, it's all about choices. Mm-hmm. And so you either choose to do something or you choose not to do something. You either choose to do something else or you choose to do what you need to do. Mm-hmm. And so, is it important enough? And if it is important enough, then you've got to be able to make the time.
Right.
Because we talk a lot about that. You don't get to make time. You just get to make. How does it go, Jeff? You don't make time. We have to make our calendars. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, but I get to choose how I spend that 24 hours. And for me, if it doesn't end up on my calendar, like if it's important, I'm putting it on my calendar. Whether it's spending time with my kids, taking my girls on a date night, or taking Natalie on a date, right. Whatever it is. And some people might think, well, that's kind of rigid. That's kind of, oh gosh, you got to do that. To me, it's that important. Yeah. If it's anything that's really important to you, whether it's prospecting or whether it's taking the time to look for second homes, whatever it is, it's got to be on my calendar or I don't have time.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it? We have 1,440 or 20 seconds in a day. I mean, it's not a lot. So, but what about some that you guys hear that you want to challenge?
Okay, I'll go there. Here's one that I hear a lot, and it's you can tell that it's coming because of the tone of the person you're talking to. Mm-hmm. So I want to find, I hear people finding excuses for things, and sometimes they will use I'm waiting for the right time. Sometimes it's not not aggressive, but I'll give you an example. My parents always wanted to buy some property after they sold the resort, and it was always next year. I'm waiting for the market to change. I'm waiting for the prices to go down. We're waiting to have all of our ducks in a row. We're waiting for the kids to get out of school. We're waiting. So it was waiting. The other one is from we talk to agents a lot. It's another is a defensive reaction. If someone is defensive about what they're going to do, did you talk to so-and-so yet? No, I'm not going to talk to him. I think he's going to be really mad. I think, they're trying to outline what's going to happen before. So Jane Kelly said something that to me has always rung true. It's stay out of judgment and stay into curiosity. And I just love it. We're talking about excuses, but to me, judgment creates excuses.
I'll even piggyback that. I think assumptions are kind of tied in there as
Assumptions,
well.
there you go. How about this one? We hear this a lot from clients that might be on the fence, from agents that might be really worried about taking that next step or scared, at the potential to fall. And this one is, well, that must be nice, or I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they're doing that, or maybe from some associates or not associates or friends, we might hear some type of even jealousy come out about something someone else have done. I've tried to work with the kids, with my kids, when they see someone who's done a great job, don't ever criticize that or has more than you. Get curious about it. Ask them, what did you do? How did you get there? What does your daily routine look like? I want to see that. I want to be that. Because it doesn't matter where you are in life. There'll always be something you can look up to or wish you did or want to. Be curious about it. Go out and try to figure it out.
I love that.
Ooh, I just need to take notes when Jeff's speaking. He always is. He's like Yoda. But yeah, you say this a lot, Jeff. We always want to make sure that we have a life where it's a glad I did, not a wish I had. And I think what you just spoke to speaks directly to that. In real estate, to kind of piggyback off of that, some of the stuff, you hear lots of excuses, but one, especially in our market, is, it's the off season, it's slow, or it's, as real estate agents, it's either the sky is falling or it's the greatest thing on earth, and you have these big highs and big lows, and if you're doing what you're, if you'll take the excuses out and do what you're supposed to do, the consistency over time will level those things off, and you'll continue to grow, and you're not going to hit those big valleys if you're doing what you need to do when you need to be doing it. Because at the end of the day, you can control, or you can keep from the market or the timing of the market from affecting your business. Your business can be separate from the rest of the market. The market goes down, you can gain market share. You can continue to sell more homes. You can continue to help more people. It's the off season, it's the winter. There's a lot of things that we can be doing to increase our business. And I just think it's a limited mindset whenever you make that as an excuse.
But Jason, it's an election year.
Oh yeah, we hear that one a lot.
How many clients? How many clients? Well, I know we've been looking for several years, but we're going to wait and see what happens in that election.
I'm always like, is that person co-signing for you? I'm like, well.
Well, to your point, if people worry about things they can't control.
Right.
And it's not a light switch. It's not going to shut off. Life is not going to stop.
Well, and I'm glad that you brought that up, Jeff, because that's something that you have always instilled in me that I think about daily, which is, focus on what you can control. Focus on the things that you can control, the mindset that you have. What were you telling me the other day? You had a poster on your garage about bringing positivity all the time. Constant reminders in front of your face.
There's no growth without discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah. So last question, what are some things that you hope that our listeners can take away from this tip?
Gosh, there's a lot of stuff I think that we all can learn. I mean, I look forward to listening to this again just because I enjoyed listening to you guys. There's always things that I take away, but one of my favorite books is 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And what's really cool is now that my kids that are all in school, they actually teach those 7 habits, and the very first one is be proactive. And what my kids always take away from it, that it's nobody else's responsibility. At the end of the day, it's my responsibility. And so excuses or being successful, it's nobody else's responsibility other than yours. Nobody else is going to do it for you. At the end of the day, nobody else can truly hold you accountable. Nobody else can truly make you consistent over time. You have to be proactive. And if you'll be proactive at everything you do or everything that you want to be successful at, whether it's being a good dad or whether it's being a successful real estate agent or whether it's, whatever it is that you're into, it's up to you. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the day, there's no excuses. Yeah. Just do it. I love to just do it.
Just do it. Well, Grow, Thrive, Inspire listeners, a huge thank you to these guys for discussing this Java tip with us. We have 2 more episodes to come before we wrap up season 1 of the show, so be sure to tune back in on Wednesdays and find us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and Instagram. Or you can visit growthriveinspirepodcast.com. Be sure to also check out our Remax Lake of the Ozark Facebook page for any upcoming open houses. Open houses are posted on Thursdays for the upcoming weekend. It is that jolly time of year, so be sure to add your next home or vacation spot to your Christmas list. And remember to always grow, thrive, and inspire. See you soon.